let's talk about defense. So are elite pass rushers, and there's this whole narrative going on with some of the best ones in the game. Myles Garrett becomes the first player with 5 sacks in a game. Want to see how he celebrates since you didn't watch action yesterday? Here's him
Oh, he threw his helmet,
yeah. Yeah. Here he is. What do you make of this?
So I'm going to preface this by saying I'm a massive Myles Garrett fan. But, dude, you had your chance, and you chose the money. You knew what you were getting into. When they paid you 120-some-odd million to stay in Cleveland, you knew this is what you were getting. And I love Stefanski, but, you know, Cleveland is Cleveland because, again, they've got to fix it up front. They got to figure out what they're going to do at the quarterback position. But yeah, I mean, now if I'm Cleveland, I'm trading Myles Garrett, trading his contract. I'm getting as many picks as I possibly can. I'm letting that guy go try to win somewhere. And I'm going to try to rebuild my organization because the reality is they're so far away from a championship that, you know, he'll have a gold jacket before they even sniff that.
I do think because he stayed there, picked the money, he's still allowed to be mad like that. Like, right? Like, I don't think
he's
like...
100%.
I don't think he's like, I regret it with the decision he made. Or do you think we're...
100% he regrets it.
You think so? He regrets it now?
100%. He would have gotten paid anywhere.
You think right now? I mean, so should he go and try to get traded? He's not doing that.
No, because he's a good dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, everything you hear about him, you hear great things about him, right? And you think he's loyal, he's a passionate, he wants to win. So the frustration is that he's doing literally everything he can do. He's playing at a level that nobody else has played for at that franchise, and very few people have ever played at in this league. And that's not good enough for them to win. So it's frustrating. And, you know, so you take, you know, I get it. I understand his frustration. I understand what he wants to do, but part of it, you're mad at yourself because you had an opportunity to leave and you stayed loyal. You took the money, and you know, thinking the organization probably made promises to build things around you and do certain things, and it just isn't happening. So you're frustrated with the team, you're frustrated with yourself, and you know, like I said, I would love to see him go to a contender, just because, like I said, I'm a fan, but also, if I'm the GM of the Browns, I know how far we are. I mean, you know what you can get from Myles Garrett right now? What
could you get, and where should he go?
Man, the problem is, honestly, the price might be too high. I don't know. But, I mean, if Micah Parsons can move, then Myles Garrett can move. I mean, anybody with a quarterback, that's where you should go. Literally go to any team. Dude, I could see him going to Dallas. I know Dallas didn't look good against the Broncos.
Whoa, they do,
but Dak is playing better. And they have a massive need for a stud in Dallas. Who else?
I don't know. Harrison, why don't you hop on? I wish we should have made this easier for you with some options. I'm so sorry. I can't think of any. Hamilton, where else could he go? We talked about the call this morning. Niners, he said a quarterback, so I don't know. Do the Niners have a quarterback? Do you think? That's why I didn't mention that team. I'm trying to think of, like, where Myles should go. And, like, what you're saying, he could get... I don't think he wants to go anywhere.
I'll be honest. I could see nowhere good. I mean, the Chargers, he could go to the Chargers. You put him on the other side of Khalil Mack, and Mack is versatile, but I mean, you know, they run a little different defense. I'm trying to think of guys who have staunch 4-3s. You know who I think should take them? And I'm just going to throw this out there. The Chiefs. Could you imagine if the Chiefs picked up Myles Garrett? Yeah, I talked about it on the
call this morning.
if the Chiefs picked up Myles Garrett and you have Jones in the middle, and that young
But they can't make that happen.
Greek name. Karlaftis. I mean, because he's okay. He's never going to be that elite level guy. I don't think Karlaftis is ever going to give you, you know, multiple seasons of 10 plus, 12, 13 sacks.
Hamilton, I feel like the Cowboys have the money. Does Veach have the money?
The Chiefs are in a tough spot right now, cap-wise. That's going to be the biggest issue for them.
You didn't say if they could afford it.
No, I'm just thinking what's realistic. What I've been wanting to see him, it's hard for me to, like, understand. Maybe when you're in it, I don't know, like, what is the argument for him staying, wanting to redo his deal? You're saying it's money. I agree.
No, I think what happened was he wanted out.
Okay, go ahead.
I think he wanted out. I think he's probably a loyal guy. You know, when you move,
that doesn't make sense.
It's scary to move, right? Or he just knew they weren't going to let him go. Maybe he knew they were never going to let him go. So that was they was probably already in the middle of a contract, negotiations. He throws out, I want to be traded. You get people excited about the potential, and they throw, $30 million a year at you. I guess I could be unhappy for $30 million a year.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like, I understand the comfort of staying where you are. I understand, like, you're like you're comfortable. That you're a king. And this isn't just Myles Garrett, by the way. Now we can bring in Max Crosby into the conversation. Even Cam Jordan, who I would imagine serves as a bit of a cautionary tale to these younger guys.
I think Max's situation is slightly different, though. The Raiders were trending up when he signed that deal. You know, they're bringing in Pete Carroll.
Pete and Geno, that's fair.
Yeah, you're seeing the success Geno had over in Seattle. Everybody kind of knew they were getting that running back. You're thinking, okay, the Chiefs got exposed a little bit in the Super Bowl, so you're thinking, okay, we got the formula to beat these guys. So I understand Max's enthusiasm and optimism to stay there.
Yeah.
The Browns were kind of they didn't have a quarterback, right? I think they finished the year with Flacco last year, didn't they?
So why did he stay? In your opinion, the loyalty thing bothers me because
bird in the hand. I think it's a bird in the hand. But
it's a bird in the hand anywhere else, and then you get.
Yeah, but the picks maybe they just weren't getting enough info from the picks. I don't know. I don't know the backstory of it, but clearly his heart was still in Cleveland, or clearly some promises were made, and they thought they had a team that could go out and compete, or maybe they thought the division wasn't going to rebuild and bounce back the way it did.
Jared,
but yeah,
what is the value in 2025 year of our Lord? What is the value of staying with one team?
Again, because at the end of the day, most of us still play for the pride and honor of representing that football team. Like you said, it's built into us when we're kids. It's not like we're switching high schools. We weren't allowed to switch colleges. You played to try to build something. So even in the back of your mind, there's still this fundamental base that I want to build. I want to compete. There's a loyalty because you've been so loyal to me. He's a top pick in the city. His life is probably great there. Now, in the modern day era of the NFL, there's no benefit to it.
I'm trying to think of you switched. Didn't make you.
Yeah, because I was chasing rings. I learned, and to be honest, it sucks to say, when the deal went down with Kansas City and Minnesota, and Kansas City elected not to, give me the contract that they had promised me, that I realized loyalty didn't matter in the NFL, and it jaded me, to be honest with you. So you say, okay, they clearly don't care about what I did for them. They're going to try to beat me down and get me at the cheapest price they possibly can. Loyalty doesn't go both ways in the NFL.
Yet somehow you speak highly of the Chiefs. I believe the Chiefs had you back.
Yeah, we've been defenses over the years. Time heals all wounds, but heck, you wouldn't have got me back there. Right when I first left, I was doing everything I could to bury him.
I think when Micah Parsons finishes his career, if he gets into the Hall of Fame, I think when Aaron Rodgers goes to the Hall of Fame, the Packers are not going to be. So I'm trying to think of what is. I think it's almost a false premise. Not the idea of loyalty. I understand the integrity that it stands for, but even back then, but even now, more now, when I can catch. I don't know. You don't have Sunday ticket clearly, which I love for you.
Okay, YouTube TV. Whatever,
I love. Hey. Nothing I love more than YouTube. But you can see, back then, if you were a Chiefs fan, you were hearing about Jared Allen or seeing you on SportsCenter, but you weren't able to watch. It's almost like Micah's brand is bigger than ever for making that move.
It's massive. Oh, the exposure, the content,
Myles going
ability.
From the Browns to the Cowboys. Cowboys, by the way, can't afford him. That is helpful to his brand. I don't see the benefit I don't think you're going to get. I think if Max Crosby got moved and wins a Super Bowl, he'll be able to waltz right back into, if he does it the right way, and he has the tattoo.
Sure.
So I don't really see that. That should not hold people back. If anything, I think Saints fans should be over the moon if they saw Cam Jordan want a trade, get
100%. Well, so you look at Cam.
Ring.
Cam's been there forever, right? So if you move Cam, you're doing him a favor. It's like when I left Minnesota, the reason I go back to Minnesota and we never had any issue there because I played out my contract. They let me play my contract out. There was never, Rick and I, Spielman, who was GM at the time, we had open conversation and it's like, hey, these are my goals. Where are we at as a team? And he's like, Jared, man, I just don't know that we're there as a team to meet those goals. All right, cool. I'm going to go to free agency and see what I can get. So there's a right way to do things, there's a wrong way, right? When I left Kansas City, clearly my intention was to stay there my whole career. I loved that place, loved that organization. And so when it was like, the promise of a long-term deal doesn't happen, and then you tender me and you franchise me, and it's like this placation.
That's the problem, the tag.
right, the tags and all this stuff, and you're drawing me out. You're just like, wait, can we get him on a bad year, right? That's kind of what you're telling. So that's where things get friction. So if it's done right, Cam Jordan will always be welcome in New Orleans with open arms, right? To be honest, I think Micah, he's so young, he probably forgets about the Cowboys. I mean, he's going to go off. He'll be a lifer in Green Bay. And if they win a Super Bowl there, he'll probably never go back to Texas. Heck, I don't know. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then you take a look at like Crosby, same thing. I think if you leave the right way, because you got to remember, you're actually a massive value piece to that organization when you leave too, because of all the picks and all the potential that they could get. So that's why I say
these
with the
guys
Browns,
stay where they are because of the tag. The tag makes everything a little messy.
Yeah, I mean, because as a GM, it's the whole bird in the hand. Why get rid of a Max Crosby? Because you don't know what you're going to get, right? Those picks might not pay off to 3, 4, 5 years down the road, or they might not pay off at all.
Well, they don't want to play on a one-year deal. I sort of get that for them. I'm trying to think of like the lesson in this. Like from a Hall of Famer, Jared Allen, when all is said and done.
I mean, to be honest, the only lesson in professional sports is you got to, listen. When I sign my deal, I'm going to see it through. So if I'm going to be loyal to you, be loyal to me. But if I have an opportunity and I can come to you and we can have an honest conversation, like when I went to the Bears and asked to be traded to the Panthers, I'm like, listen, I'm retiring next year, right? This is my last year. I knew I was retiring. I love Fox, love Ryan Pace at the time. We had a great relationship. Get picks for me. We're 0-3. I'm an old dude. Those young guys. If I have any draft value, get picks for me, move me on. Let me go finish my career with my hand in the dirt and go try to win a Super Bowl. And they were gracious enough to do that. So I think if they couple it the right way, the PR is actually good. If I'm Cleveland, I'm sitting there saying, I can get probably 2 first. I mean, what did they get from Micah? 2 first-round picks and some.
A lot. I think Myles will get more.
A ton.
The thing, I guess, what bugs me is not bugs me, but and I haven't talked to Myles about this. I'm just trying to get like he could. We're talking about like I think money's the driver of everything as it should be. Bottom line, both sides, all that. But he could have gotten that money. I'm assuming, I don't know, from everyone, especially given.
Yeah, it also depends on what were the Browns asking. What was the price tag for him?
Or you're saying this straight up, we're never going to.
Yeah, or they realized they were never ever going to trade them. So you know what? He takes the money, and they probably made a bunch of promises that they're not fulfilling. To be honest with you.
Where should he go? Cowboys. I like the Cowboys take.
I do. I think the Cowboys are a good fit for him.
Get rid of Micah, bring him in, I guess.
I mean, I'm trying to think where else. I mean, if I'm him, I go somewhere where I'm in a true 4-3. You say, the Chiefs don't have money, but the Chiefs are a great deal. I'm trying to think of teams that have a good interior rush, but not necessarily crushing it on the edges. To be honest, Philly would be a good spot for him. I think Philly would be a great spot for him.
We can dream. We can dream. He's from Texas, too.
Send him down to Jacksonville. I don't know what are they doing down there. They seem to be
we
open.
want to go to a contender. I'm just sick of these like stud pass rushers being in places that that aren't contenders. I just hate it. I hate it for them. I mean, we're going to take a short break. We're going to talk through the break. So we'll be right back. We've got Gerald, and this is why you should be subscribing to our YouTube and Fourth and Neat, by the way. I want to ask you about the Tush Push. So Hurts fumbles. I'm going to show you. I think we have it, right?
Oh, yeah, I saw that play.
Okay, love that. Great. He fumbles. The refs rule it forward progress. Okay?
That's absolutely ridiculous. First of all, he's still moving forward. There's so many things wrong with this.
Tell me.
The Tush Push in general, because it's illegal to propel another man forward, right, in the NFL. So did you watch Sunday Night Football Niners game 2 weeks ago?
Sure.
Right? And they didn't call it, but the guard pulled McCaffrey across the goal line. That's illegal. I mean, what's the difference if you're pulling somebody or pushing somebody, right? So now you're splitting hairs. We're getting into semantics like, oh, he's pulling him versus pushing him. That's so dumb. And then I've always thought the whole forward progress thing was nonsense, because you can stop a pile depending on when the ref calls forward progress. It continues to move. But if we drive the pile back and they lose yards, they get forward progress. So you can't just call forward progress when his body is still clearly moving forward. It wasn't like he was ever going backwards because you didn't like the outcome of the play. I mean, that was a fumble wholeheartedly, and New York got screwed on that one.
You must hate that as a defensive player. I can just imagine.
Yeah, there's too many rules that I think go into. I mean, it's like the catch. It's like what determines the catch type of deal. It drives me nuts.
My least favorite thing.
I think they go down the rabbit hole. I think just to make more controversial plays. But I don't know how the tush push is still legal, and I don't know how anybody hasn't just sent a safety over the top with his crown of his helmet into the quarterback's neck, and that'll stop it really quick. That'll end the tush push.
Yeah, all these rules favor offense. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it'll be worth the fine. It'll be worth the fine. It'll be worth the suspension. Wow. And when he's unconscious, no more tush push. It's over.
When you were talking about the Chiefs, last one for you. Chiefs just gone. I mean, Broncos looked good. Chargers looked good. Convincing in these performances. But, like, it's not even about the division, of course. Is there anybody that could take it to the Chiefs in the AFC?
I don't know. I mean,
It's bleak.
Again, the Chargers beat them already.
Yeah.
Denver plays the Chiefs really, really well.
So tell me that. Tell me one of those teams can ruin it for them.
I do think so. I think this is the year the Chiefs are vulnerable. Now, I'll be honest, with the beating they put on the Lions was impressive, But again, I think the Chiefs' bread and butter, where the Chiefs get weak or they expose themselves, is when they get outside the realm of what got them to where they're at. Run the ball enough to just keep the pressure off Mahomes. Throw the ball to Kelsey. I mean, you got two actually really good tight ends there. And I always look at when the tight ends have 5 to 8, 10 targets, you're probably in a winning position. So I think early in the year they're spreading the ball around. You got a whole bunch of people I never even heard of touching the ball. They got healthy, and I mean they look good. But again, Broncos know how to beat them. The Broncos defense, that front seven of the Broncos is I mean, they're killer. Those dudes, I mean, they're sacking quarterbacks at a clip that I haven't seen in many, many years. It's fun to watch.
Got to keep our eyes on Patrick Surtain, of course, and then
I mean, they're gonna, and now Andy will expose that for sure. But you look what Harbaugh's doing down in LA, and if Herbert comes out and plays like he has the last couple of weeks, that's a tough team.
Who do you have more faith in?
And they have the confidence of beating them.
Chargers or Broncos?
I have in the Chiefs because they've been there. They've been there. They know how to. But I mean, the reality of a four, like would this be 4-peat back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's insane. So again, I think the team that has the best chance to knock them off is Denver. But yeah, the Chiefs are still the top of the AFC. I mean, either way, you win the division or you get into the wild card. When Chiefs in the playoffs are tough to beat.
Can JJ get back and take this team on a run? Oh my God!
We spoke week one. This is why I'm not a fan. This is why I don't like watching football. And now I'm invested. I'm invested in the Vikings, and they got me all emotional. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Tell me the emotions here. They're saying there's a report that they're keeping JJ out because of the
I'm sold on the kid week one. Week two, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was atrocious. And then, Carson Wentz comes out. They're playing good ball. And, reality, I don't think we're using our hands the greatest on defense right now. We got to play, and I say we like I'm on the team. I'm that fan now. See what I'm saying? I'm using words like we, they. We're not getting to the quarterback at the clip we need to. They need to. Sorry. But I think it really starts with. I mean, you're having inconsistencies at the quarterback level. I don't think we throw to the tight end as much, or as we should. So. I think if we can run the ball, get back to play action, get the tight ends the ball. I mean, you got Justin Jefferson. Just again, I probably wouldn't throw it to anybody else but him either. So the offense is we've been putting up points. We weren't really blown out until this Chargers game. But when I watched that game, the biggest thing I saw was lack of tackling and guys not using their hands proper, up front, catching blocks. And for me, if you can't stop the run, it's simple, right? You have to stop the run, put guys behind the chains. And on the offensive side, you got to run the ball and you got to put, the defense behind the chains, so to speak, being positive first and second down situations. So
there's a report, Jared, that the Vikings are holding JJ back. Like he could come back week 9, they're hoping, but they're holding him back to protect him from the offensive line. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's been a struggle you know, we drafted, or again, they drafted some offensive linemen, a couple free agency pickups, but injuries have kind of caught them. The best way to protect a quarterback from the offensive line is make the offensive line go forward, run the ball. Right? I would hope they're not protecting him because the offensive line is unhealthy. Because I mean, you can't put Carson back out there after the display of pain he was in, you know, last week, and be any sort of a decent person.
Yeah,
My
fair.
God. I played through some shot up things, but I don't think my face ever looked like that. I thought his arm was going to fall off, poor guy.
It was not okay. Scarier than any scary movie you and I have seen.
Was that?
It sounds like you're out on them. That's it. That's all I heard. You don't have to be cute about it.
I don't want to be.
No,
I
you don't have to be cute about it. It's just what it is. You're out on them. You're out on them. Okay, Jared, we appreciate you for joining. You're a Hall of Famer. You're amazing. Tune into Fourth and Eat with Fred Minnick every Thursday on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I think we covered a lot. We covered a lot of real estate here. Appreciate you.
Oh, we did. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and dub this over and use this on our podcast.
Yeah, great. Yeah, absolutely. And I think our stuff is licensed. So go on and live your best life. Happy Halloween. Bye, Jared.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.